see the details in the thread, like how the life cycle and what the things happen in this. We'll see all the things. Okay. So we'll start from some other things like a program process, then we'll come to the thread, then we'll use the thread. Okay. So what is called as a program? What is program? Set of instruction. Okay, fine. Simple. Program is nothing but like a just an executive file. Like we have the Firefox web browser here, right? So it have like if it is the Windows, it have the .exe. So that means that is the one executable file. In that file, it contains some set of instructions. So that is called as a program, right? Okay. Then what about process? What is called as a process? Sorry?
Way of execution.
Way of execution. That is instruction only. What is process?
Steps to be followed to execute the program.
Sorry?
Steps to be followed to execute the program.
Okay. Any other points?
Cycle of execution.
Yeah. Cycle of execution. That is absolutely right. Why? Because like let assume this Brave browser is one of the program. Okay. In that, if I click the, it was open, it was showing some screen, right? So what happening? It shows some screens like what is the process begin the scene happen. Okay. So like some executable things are happening, triggering. After that, showing some icons, search box. So those things coming from those instruction only. Okay. So this is called as a process. Okay. Then what is the next one? Thread. Okay, thread is nothing but like an inside that program, like you guys are telling, right? So each things we can consider as a one process. Like if I'm opening a new tab, this is the one process, right? So in this process, like while loading, like if you are developer, you just open this. This is called as a network flow. Okay. So while you are opening or refreshing, here you can see how many things happening. Okay. API calling and what are the image loading. So if it is assumed this kind of process are happening, these are called as a process. Okay. So if these process happening, right? So Okay, don't think about this as a process. This is opening the new tab as on a process. Inside that process, there is a multiple things happening. Like each block, take as a block. So reset CSS one block. So pop in. So like that, all the things is a separate task. Okay. Now, if you want to run these tasks, so if you are going the like a structural way, that means like a step by step. First, I have to load recent CSS. Then I have to call this one. So like that, if you are calling the step by step, one by one process, what going to happen? When you can able to see the UI, how much time it will take? Compared than the normal loading, it will take lot of time. So what is the major purpose in the thread? Thread is nothing but it's a one small unit. Like we have one process, big process. Opening a new tab is one process. Inside that we are broking. Like first we have to load the HTML. Then from that we are adding the CSS. Then we want to show some icons. Then you want to load some images. So everything considers a small things in that small unit from the process. That is called as a thread. Okay. So here, why thread is important? Why we need to understand the thread? Okay. Now we have the system. Okay. In this system, if I want to run my coding, if I want to open the Brave browser, what things happening begin the scene? First of all, we'll think about how your system structure going to be. It start from the hardware. Okay. Like definitely you have the CPU, RAM, those things. Top of it, who is controlling the hardware? Who's the controller of the hardware? Software. Sir. Software also correct, but you can tell, right?
Yes.
OS. Then top of it, our program. Let assume, okay. So here this is like a one program. How can I tell? Okay. So here browser is one of the program, right? That is some executable, right? If you open the Brave browser, it was opening. So that is one program. After that, where it will come to the OS, because this program can't directly communicate with the hardware directly. So we need a OS. Then OS will be take care of these things. Okay. So in between, where the thread comes to the picture. In this flow, where thread is coming. Okay, then instead of going to the thread, let's come to the process, where the process will come. Which state? Before going to OS or after the OS? From program to, he knows how many process, we are in the sense process, then each process going to OS. Okay, this OS will take care, and this is the OS can control. Now you can use CPU, now you can use RAM. Why? Because while you are doing the coding, right? So we need a memory also. So that memory will take it from the RAM, right? Some temporary memory. So who going to allocate your all the things? OS will be taken, and the OS will be decide which task, like that means which process. Inside that which process we have multiple threads, right? So those threads, which time which thread should be run, because we need a resource. Like let's take an example. Now this is my laptop. I want to print some things in the Xerox. Okay, I want to do some printing. So what I have to do by printing, in the same time all of the guys are trying to connect the same thing, trying to print something. What's going to happen? It will give some priority. First you execute, then the rest of the guys wait. Once this one completed, other guys will come. So like that it will go to the some order way, right? And in programming, what they are doing, they are just trying to act. So act is nothing but they are trying to act as a I am doing all the process at the same time. That is called as a concurrent, right? We have a clear idea about the concurrent, parallel, simultaneous. Let's talk about the concurrent. What is mean by concurrent? Performing at a time.
Some time period is mentioned.
It's not as a at a time. it mimic as a, like it act as a, at a time it happening. So while I am opening this one, right, so here I have opened the one tab. So in the tab, while I am typing, some suggestions also will come. So if I am clicking, it was opening. It's not only the at a time everything while I am searching, that time it's not coming. Once I completed the my typing, then only the suggestion was coming. So it's like a mimic. They are acting as a, I am doing the things as the same. Like let us assume, like you are a only guy cooking something. Okay, parallel you have the, in the gas stove you have the two things, right? So one things you put some rice or something, another thing you are making some curry. So parallel, that is not a parallel things. You are just act as, I am the only guy doing the both things at a time, but it is not at a time. You can't do say something like that. That is not possible, right? So because it's going to somewhere mess. So you have to do this one. In the meantime, you have to check this one. I'm just acting. Here the matter was how you are switching between these two tasks. How much time you have to wait, how much time I can going to work for that one, how much I have to work for this first task. This is the matters. Okay, so in the thread also, that is the major concept, how they are handling internally. Okay, so let's see the some states in the thread. Okay, so these are the things as a thread states. So this is called as a thread life cycle. So before that, I have to show one more thing. So let's talk about process and the thread bit. This is one process. Okay, inside this process we have multiple thread. Okay, here where the execution will start, execution start from the main thread. So let's assume this is the main thread. Okay, so this is the main thread, in the sense execution start from there. If any one thread was failed, it caused all other, the entire process will be gone. But if one process is gone, like this is a process 1, this is a process 2, this is the process 3. If any one process was collapsed, it won't affect the another process. That means if I am opening one tab, this is one process. If any bug, any crash happening in this page, it will going to affect the next tab? Definitely not. The same process applied here also. So process is different, thread is different. But if one thread was failed, this entire process will be collapsed. Okay, keep in your mind. Okay, let's back to here. So these are the things. This is a runnable state, running state, wait or blocked state, terminated state. What is mean by that? What is runnable state? Is ready to run. Okay. Then next is the running state, is currently running. Next is the waiting or blocked. When this waiting or blocked will come? We'll see here. Now this is the stage 1 as a runnable. That means that current thread ready to run the things. Okay, it needs some CPU and RAMs also if it is need. But at that time, if another things was already running, like a state, another process occupied the hardware. So this is your hardware. If another process occupied your hardware, what scheduler will do? These things will take care by the OS. In the OS, they have a scheduler. Which task I want to run now? That OS will be decided. Okay. So if OS decides this task is currently running, so I don't have a resource, so you have to wait some time. Okay, there is a two things: wait or block. Okay. So wait or block, what are the major difference between? So now only you are coming. I don't have the resource to run you, like execute you, so you have to wait for some time. Blocked is nothing but you are not allowed to running anymore. Simple. Okay. Apart from that, nothing else. Okay. Then what is another state? This is a running state. If the wait or blocked also run, finally terminate the program. Okay, that's it. Like a terminate in the sense you can close the entire program. Simple. That's it. Okay. So let's see these things in the one by one. So let's take some example as the KFC. So here I created a one class called as a KFC order. So in that I just created one method as a place order. Okay. So now I have to from customer end they are continuously ordering, right? Now for employee end, that means who are working in that, they have to see how many total orders coming, right? So what I am doing, I just created one variable. So whenever if anyone placed the order, I just increase the one. Simple. Apart from that, nothing else. Now let's execute this code. Compilation done. That's wonderful. So now that means the order was placed. Now I can print total orders. So let's print that. Compilation done. So now my total orders was 1, right? Okay, fine. Now let's get some understanding. So not only going to learn this thread, if you are, what I am going to do next, maybe I am using the thread. I am going to do the one issue, that means I am expecting 50, but it's coming 49. So why? That is called as a multithreading. It's not a way to learn that. Okay, it's not a correct order. So what I am telling, that also will come, but I will explain why I have to know that. This is why we have to know that internally. So this is the base Java we are learning and advanced Java we are learning, but this is not enough to build the one product. If you want to build the product, definitely you need a framework. So what is the framework? Everything you already knows, so no need to go through in that. Okay, let's talk about the things. You have the framework, the execution start from the main method, that is no doubt. So you created one application. Okay, in that application there is a multiple process. So while you are doing that process, definitely there will be some bug, some crash will be happen. But that time, framework will take care running this multi-threading. So you don't have to create the multi-thread environment. You don't need to do. Then why should I learn the thread? If you are going most of the interviews in the Java or any language, they will ask the questions from the thread only. What is the reason? Thread and collection majorly. I hope now we are mastering the collection. Let's back to the thread. Okay. So why they are asking in the thread? Because we are not going to create any multi-threaded environment, right? Any ideas? What is the reason? Maybe you are not supposed to do it, but if it is framework doing a multi-threaded environment for you, for scalability or for performance, these things framework will take care. Okay, that means framework will create your application as a multi-threaded environment. That time, if any issue happen, how you guys going to fix it? So that is the major purpose we are learning the thread. Apart from that, we are not going to create a multi-threaded environment. By default, these things will take care by the frameworks. Definitely, if you are creating any Spring Boot application, if you are running multiple files, that will already running in the multi-threaded environment, but you can't see. Okay, fine. If it is anywhere some crashes or some bugs was coming, some unexpected behavior happen, how you guys going to fix it? So we have to master in the thread, because they are internally using that one. If you master in that one, if anywhere any issue happen, you can easily resolve it. So that is a major purpose. Okay, fine. Now, how can I make this as a multi-threaded environment? By default, this is running only one thread, that means main thread only there. Okay, now how can I create a multi-threaded environment? So now what I'm doing, just place the order around 10,000 times. Save. Okay, now I got the order from the 10,000. But now, At the same time, so I receiving the multiple orders from the customers. This is as of now only one guy clicking the 10,000 times. Let us assume these 10,000 orders I am receiving from the customers at the same time. 10,000 customers they are ordering same time. What going to happen? So how can I create that? So for that here we have our one class called as a thread. Okay. So let's check it out. Thread. What is thread? Thread is a class. It implements a runnable. Okay. Let's go and check the runnable. What is runnable? Runnable is a one functional interface. So functional interface means so definitely have that they have only one abstract method. You have to give the definition of it. Fine. Okay. So runnable. Before going to that, first we will create the users. So that means different threads. Thread, how many customers? Okay. Now just what I did, I created the 10,000 threads. Apart from that, nothing else. Okay. Now what I need to do, this is not at all required. This is not anymore the single thing. Click. So now I want to create these things from the thread. Okay, so we can start from the 0. Next, what I am doing, I am going to just this is not required. So inside the thread, I can pass as a things. I will explain this one. Here, what I did, so thread. 1 minute. Okay, thread receiving the runnable. So runnable as an interface, we already mastered this kind of thing. This is a functional interface. You can directly use the lambda expression. There is no issues. So if it is a functional interface, you can directly use the lambda expression. So you just give the definition of the run method, right? Okay. Then what you have to do? You have to start the process. Simple. So by default, here you guys can ask. Okay, here we are not intentionally. There is no in your program. You are not going to intentionally create the multi-threaded environment. Instead of that, what are you guys going to do? So you guys already it's running as a multi-threaded environment. If it is any issue, any crash happens, we have to fix it. So that is the major purpose we are learning. So that's why here we are creating a multi-threaded environment. Okay. So first what I did, I just create as a 10,000 threads. Okay, different 10,000 threads. Here the one more things will be there. There is a two kind of threads. One is the platform thread. So that means each thread created that means it occupies some memory. One thread definitely need minimum 1 MB, something like that. Like that, if you are creating how much thread, it will create some memory address from your RAM. Right here, it is problematic. Why? Because if you sometimes if you are giving the lags, what will happen? Definitely you will get the error as a out of memory, right? So instead of that, they like around in Java 21, JDK 21, they released one more new thing is called as the virtual threads. Okay, so there is a two kind of threads. One is the platform thread, another one is the virtual thread. Okay, if you want to, you can directly go to create the virtual thread also. Okay, virtual thread is nothing but it's a too lightweight. So this is too heavy. Why I am telling this is too heavy? This is platform thread. It directly occupies the memories. Virtual thread it won't be like that. If it is needed while you are using that time only it allocates the memory. It will take care of it. However, JVM working is just a virtual machine. The same kind of for threads also the concept things are there. Okay. So here I just what I did, I am accessing the first thread. Then I have to pass something as a KFC order, as a place order, just a functional interface. Here, here we are not a child anymore. Let's reduce this line also. How can I reduce? So this is not required. This is not required. going to work? So this is called as a method reference. Okay. So here I just using this method reference operator. Also you guys use a double colon or something. Okay. So this is called as a method reference. So whenever if you are doing any things as a lambda expression, you can do with a method reference also. That means nothing. So what is the caller of the object? Then which method you want to call? Simple. Okay. This will suit for the print statement also. Like how you want to do. Like, system dot out. Okay, so this also you can do. Okay, fine. So this time if any values coming to this one, it's not going to work here. For example, I am telling. So if any value is coming for coming here as a one by one as a iteration manner, it will print that value. Okay. So let back to our original thing. So this is called as a method reference. I am just taking the object, then I am just giving the which method you want to call. Simple. Okay. So let's run the code. Let's see. Clear. Java. So now I am getting output as 9,996. My 4 orders was missed. Right, this is a traditional, we already know, definitely not going to work. Right, fine. Again now 98, 2 orders gone, 3 orders gone, again 4. So but here we want to notice one more thing. These threads, okay, this is totally different. And our main thread, like each thread have its own memory stack. Okay, keep in your mind. Here this is the main method. From here only the starting point, like a program starting from main method only, right? So main always have the separate thread. What happening here? Main coming, executing these lines one by one, KFC order, object creation done, give the reference and creating the thread. Then what going to do? This is the multi-threader environment. So it won't wait until to complete this whole things. Instead of that, what it will do? It will just trigger this one. It come to here directly. So what we have to do? We have to tell our main thread. We have to wait for some time. Okay, until other threads execution was completed. So that means these threads not a child threads. It has separate. It has totally separate from the main thread, but it's running inside that main thread. Okay. But no need to main thread wait, because each thread is different memory, different stack. So it will run based on the scheduler, how schedulers give the priority. Okay, based on that it will run. And we can also give the priority, which thread you have to run first, but there is no guarantee. This priority based it will going to work. Okay, fine. Now if you want to do that, like I want to wait until all threads are finished. Okay, you can do this or else try not required. Yeah, and directly remove this. Or else you can do this also one of the way. Then what I have to do, I have to ducking my exception as an interrupter exception. This is not a good idea, but you guys most know about the throws and the throw, right? There is a lot of difference. This is not a plural form of throw. Okay. Fine, this is also we can do, or else I can go with the enhanced for loop. No need to go with the index. As a thread is the threads. Okay. This is the way also I can do. So what I am telling now, all the threads have to wait. So okay, that means my main thread should wait until all the threads complete their task. Okay, what is the task for each thread? Go and call this place order. Once called, it got increased, right? Fine. So clear the screen. But still also the values was missing until like I waited for all the thread execution was completed, but still it got missed. Why? this is the reason we have to understand clearly. So what happening? So this is called as a race condition. Okay. So let's get some idea about the race condition. So here what happening when multiple thread accessing one shared data. So that means here I am using only one object. From that object I am accessing the same place order method only, right? Again and again. So what going to happen? Now two threads coming to the picture. Let's understand like that. Okay. Let's back to you. So this is my count. So initially my counter was 0. Okay. Now thread 1 was coming, thread 2 also coming. We can't guarantee which thread will execute first. Okay. Now this thread also taking the existing value, that thread also taking the existing value. What is that then? What we will do, 0 plus 1 equal to 1. What it also do? 0 plus 1 equal to 1. Then what going to happen? Here actually 2 times I placed the order from different thread. But actually what happening while accessing, it access to the same value 0 and 0. What going to happen while we are increasing 0 plus 1. So it's not a 1 plus 1. So that means like what is the final counter value? Should 1. Okay, so that means how can we handle this one? We already know. So if we are using synchronized, it's going to work. If you are running how many times, that is not matter. Finally you will get all the orders. If you are running 1000 times also, it's going to work. Like a 10,000 lakhs also, it's going to work. There is no issues in that. But here, if you are using synchronized, what it is means, what happening behind the scene. If one thread accessing this method, other threads got to wait. Once this one thread was completed, then only other threads going to access this one, right? So that means there is a memory loss, but it affect my execution speed. Like that, my performance definitely is going to affect. Then how can we handle these kind of things? There is some other things like a locking system. So many things are there. So as of now, no need to worry about this one. Like we have some predefined, like if you want to use the integer for shared data, right, across in all the threads, you can use atomic integer also. So if you are using this one, no need to go with the synchronized place order. Why? Because whenever anyone accessing that particular variable, like that total orders, right? So here I have atomic total orders. What going to happen? It internally take care of the everything. So we can go there and we can check what they are did. So just atomic integer as a class extends from the number and implements the serializable. Okay, serializable is totally different. Let's check the number what is they are doing. Just abstract class. It don't have anything. But internally what it will do, this back to here. This atomic integer what it will do, like this is the thing. This is the okay. Final set. Why did this is actually this atomic integer handle all the things, like if multi-threaded environment, if you are using your data like your variable as an integer type, you can use this atomic integer. But if you are go through this all the methods, you will get some ideas why I am telling. So they handle everything, like if we get, there is no matter how many threads coming, how many threads are accessing, I am going to take care of the everything, like the synchronized, how the locking system. But they handle bit speed also with a efficient manner. So not only directly giving the synchronized to the, they have internal some locking system. How the transformation going to the milliseconds. Like I have to give the my resource to other things also, but I don't override my value also. That thing everything will take care by this atomic integer. So there is a multiple types from the atomic integer, atomic string like that we have. So now let's get some understanding about the atomic. What is meant by atomic? So like everyone knows about acid principle, right? Everyone heard about acid principle some things. What is meant by acid? So we have some abbreviation of each thing. First come to the A in the sense atomic. What is atomic? What is atomic? What is meant by atomic? What is meant by atomic? Any ideas?
Calculation based on electron.
So they have told us the principle as every time definitely you guys heard about as atomic acid principle, right? What is atomic? So atomic in the sense like here if you back to our class, initially I just create as a integer this variable, right? This is a non-atomic. Why it is non-atomic? Whenever if anything the value lose the data like that means if you are multiple threads are accessing the same variable as a total order, so what going to happen? It definitely going to lose the value. So that means atomic in the sense it's a proper of keeping the data. It will no need to lose your data. That is a management. Okay, that is simply called as atomic. Okay. So until now, do you guys have any doubts in multi-thread? Thread and multi-thread process, simultaneous, concurrent, parallel. Any doubts in that? Because next things full of going to the framework and we just in intermediate we will see something called as like some file handling, like how you can read the file, how you can handle the file data. So as of now we are just handling the string input, right? You can handle the file data as well. So how you are going to read the file using the program, like how you want to print, how much lines you have to print, this thing we will see. Okay, after this thread we will go to the some exceptions. Okay, what is the purpose of exception? You can create your custom exception also, we'll see in that one. Okay, so now until now any doubts in this thread and the multi-threaded environment? Because last class I hope most of the guys didn't get the clear idea, so that's why I just bring back and I have to go with the life cycle also, like what the things happening each thread. Okay, so here there is a multiple things was there, you can give the priority also each thread. Okay, so let's, if you anyone have the doubts, okay, if you don't have like how to create a virtual thread, that we will see. So if you want to create a virtual threads, so you don't need to use the new keyword and all, you have to directly use the class. So inside that class you have the one method called as the virtual method. So from that you can use it. Okay, like what are things that have a builder of virtual, new thread virtual builder. Okay. Some method Actually, this is a way of creating a virtual thread. Actually, by default, is a OS platform thread. You can use like a yes platform also there. Platform. Okay, so no problem. So if you want to create that platform thread, so you can directly using the new keyword. But if you want to create a virtual thread, so this is the way. Like have the of virtual, maybe off platform, I guess. Yeah, app platform like that. So this is the way of creating our platform or app virtual. So what is the major difference between app platform? If you are creating the app platform threads, what's going to happen begin the same? Like it will allocate the each memory for each thread. But virtual thread is nothing but it's a too lightweight, so it's won't be that much heavy. Okay, sometimes if you are creating million threads, your current system not going to sufficient to handle that much thread, because each thread it have own start memory, it has some own runnable state, everything it has separately. So that means it will take some memory, so you will get the easily you can get the error from the your machine as a out of memory. Okay, so if your RAM was exceeded from, if your RAM 4 GB, if you cross to that 4 GB, definitely will get the error is out of memory. Okay, it's not able to create the thread. So this is also one way. So this is a too lightweight. Okay, fine. Here let's back to this one. So here I'm doing the every time. So if any issues going to happen, like some okay. So if you are creating an application, so in that application we can't go with everything. We can't cover all the scenarios. Maybe you are just creating an application just to do the some additions values. Okay, so that time if you are receiving some addition or division, if you are doing, so if you are giving mistakenly divided by 0, what going to happen in the machine? Is it going to work or it will throw some error? What is the value in the program as divided by 0? Infinite. So it's not a 0. So in the mathematics, is anything divided by 0?
No.
What is in mathematics I'm asking, not in the program. If anything is divided by 0, what is the value? 0.
Infinite.
Infinite.
Actually undefined, but for some
Not
mathematical.
undefined. It's a programming time. I'm not asking about programming time. I'm asking in mathematics.
Mathematics you'll go with infinite.
Infinitive. Divided by 0, infinitive.
Yes.
That is not wrong. But divided by 0, always in maths they will take as a 1. If you divided by so for multiplied by 0, what going to happen?
0.
But divided by 0, you can remainder. So something as a 0 point, some values will come. Okay, some they will take as a round. They will consider as a divided by 0. One, but in coding we can't do like that because it's continuously program. We set it up something like that. So it's continuously doing the after pointer. What it going to, it will continuously try to divided by. So until unless your memory got full, what going to happen? The memory is continuously running, like until your RAM got full, the execution was continuously happening. So that is like a some exceptional case. So that is the one concept we have, the exceptions. Okay, we are not until now we are not go through it. Okay, we'll see that one. Okay, so before that we will see this throws keyword also. So like a throw I already explained. So can anyone tell what is the major difference between the throw and the throws? All are forget. Ga. It's a plural form of throw. Then what throw will do? You don't catch the error. Hey, what is this? What is the difference between throw and the throws? I'm asking that much complex question. Okay, what is mean by throw and throws? What is the difference? What throw will do, what throws will do? Is it the plural form of throw or what?
Multiple.
Multiple.
I mean multiple expressions.
Stand. Go outside like that. What is it? It's not a plural form, it's not a multiple things. So throw is nothing but like you are ready to here one issue was happened. What you have to do? You just throw. I don't handle this issue. You will take care of it, because whenever if you are building the system, you have to consider all the scenarios. But that is not at all possible. In real world, there is a plenty of scenarios. Sometimes user can give some random values, some minus values. So any number of values they can give, but we have to handle. So we don't allow system to crash. System should handle the errors. Okay, so that is the exceptional case. That's why they kept us a name as a exceptional handling. Okay, let's do that. Java C. How many guys are searched? Divided by 0 is 1 or not? How many of you searched? In mathematics, what is the value? Anyone Google? Is anyone Google? Divided by 0. Is Wikipedia. Let's go to the Wikipedia. So undefined is what is meant by undefined? What is undefined? Value will be out of range, or there is no value. Then how it is undefined is same compared than the sorry. Okay, what is the value then? Undefined, definitely undefined is wrong, totally wrong. Undefined, we already, if you are learning the JavaScript also, undefined, when you going to get the undefined? If you not at declared, if you not at assigned the anything value, so that is you can get the output as undefined. But here definitely we will get some values like dividing by 0.
Close to 0.
Actually, it's come some fractional point, so like a 0 point something. So it is infinitive. It is continuously going on. So if you want to round up, we can round up something like around. You can tell us a 1 also possible. So I think I also read some docs only. Okay, once I got the docs, I will share in the Telegram group. Okay. So if I want to go through it, will take some hour to understand this all the calculation. So no need as of now. We'll skip. Okay, I will share that docs. Okay. Fine. Let's back to here. Here now I got the issue. So this is the runtime issue, and just to focus on the whenever if you are writing the code, just to focus. If it is a compile time issue, we can easily figure it out. We can easily fix it. But it's runtime, you can't fix. Once your code moved to the production, the user was using, the application got crashed entirely. What going to happen? So let's assume this is like you are telling some things, not the end of program. Some greetings. So you are doing some greetings. Okay. So not only for greeting. So for some real world example, let's take things. First, you are doing the entry for the main database. Okay. Let's take we have the 2-3 database. We have to put this user data to all 3 databases. First database I successfully entered. Second database while I am entering, it got crashed. Then what going to happen? Then it will miss the third DB also. When that program got crashed, rest of the entire code will be crashed. Rest of the lines definitely won't run. So if you want to verify compilation, okay. So here, can I get this? Thanks for using our application. Actually here, I can do. So we can do the exception. So here I can get this code. Why? Because until now my application code, my application not crashed. But here my application got crashed. But it seems like it won't be throw any error, right? While I'm doing the coding, how can I understand? It's definitely not going to happen. Any errors not going to happen. Then if it is crashed, what's going to happen? We have to handle this situation. Like whenever if you feel any blocks, any set of lines code, maybe there is a possibility to crash. Okay, you just go with the try and catch. Okay, let's first get the syntax. So simply this is a try catch block. So try is nothing but whenever if you want to try this complex kind of like this is the possibilities to crash. Maybe you can before you going to assign the value to assign the value to that value to. Okay, so that time if you are add any validation, you can easily control which value should be greater than 0. You can avoid. But if it is mistakenly, it's by default it came as a 0. Definitely it will crash my entire application. I don't process further, right? So that's why this try catch coming to the picture. You have to handle the errors. Okay. So how can I do that? Simple. I have to use the try keyword. So not this. I have to make this is the block. Okay, fine. So what are the things possibilities going to be crashed? You can add into that try plug. Then what is the purpose of the catch? So you know definitely there is some issue going to be happen, right? So you have to handle that issue. So now what I am telling to my JVM, okay, whenever I am trying to execute line number 15, if any crashes happen, you handle it. Okay, how can I handle it? Have to catch. If someone throw the ball to your face, what are you going to do? Once you move aside, or else you have to catch. Okay, that's the two possibilities. But here you can't move. Like I am not going to catch. So that scenario only you have to use the throws. So there is a two kind of exception: known exception, unknown exception. Okay. So known exception in the sense you must aware if I am doing this kind of like that is my previous code. If I am coming here, if I am removing this line like this throws this line, definitely I will got error. Okay, if you want to verify, I will run. Clear? Java C set not exception handler. So here I got some error. So this is the error not coming from our code. Where it is coming from? Order placement error, unreported exception, interrupted exception. What is mean by? The next line you just read bit careful. Cards are declared to thrown. What is mean by? So whenever if you are calling this join method, what they are doing? They throws. What is mean by throws? They are not going to throw the multiple exception. It's not mean to be like that. Okay. I will give the clear explanation about throws. You can just go through for the throw. Okay. Now, so what is throws in the sense? So definitely there is a possibility exception going to happen, right? We must handle it. Or now I am telling, oh God, I can't able to manage the exception. What instead of I am doing, like I know this is the exception going to happen. Whoever calling, who are calling me, who are going to execute my code, that guy is the responsibility to handle that exception. Simple. So that is the throws. That means this is called as a ducking the exception. Ducking is nothing but I can't do, you just do. I will give the scenarios to you. So that's why what we are doing, there's a two possibilities. First, you have to handle the exception. This is the one way, okay. Or else, what you can do, you can, like if I run the code, let's see. Now it code was running, there is no issue. Now my code was running, there is no issue. Why? Why? Because if any issues coming, I will handle it here. If here I don't want to handle here, like whoever calling me, like whoever executing this snippets, they must be handle the exception. So that time what you can do, you can ducking the exception, that is called as a throw. Simple. So this time if you are doing this one, no need to handle by yourself. Who is the caller of that object? They will handle it. Who is the caller of the main method? Who is the caller of the main method? Who will call the who will call the main method? You are executing your code. Who will call the main method? I told the answer. JVM. Okay. JVM is the caller of your main method. So main method is the starting point, right? So what you are doing, if you are doing this throws keyword, you are telling. So definitely there is a possibility exception going to happen. I am not doing, I don't care. If you are calling, you are the responsibility. You take care of the things. I won't do that. Simple. Okay, that is the purpose of the throws. Okay, let's back to here. Our exception handling. So we are doing the, what is the syntax? Catch, right? Catch. First here. So let me do this. Okay, I will explain.
So you're only writing throw exception.
Throws.
What is the meaning of interrupted exception?
I will explain it. Okay. So here, while I am doing the catch and while I am doing the throws, like I am using something called as the exception. I am using something called as the exception and interrupted exception. Some things I am telling. Okay, so while I am running the code also, I got this interrupted exception, right? So what is mean by this exception? So this is the evaluation of the coding. Like initially, once they launched their code, they don't have this much of functionality and this kind of things. What we going to do? From analyzing your code, like they launched a new language. Okay, let's take example. They launched a new language, version 1 they launched. After that, like this, there is a multiple issues was happening. Whenever if some unexpected behavior happened in your application, the code got crashed. Then what you have to do, you have to handle that error. Okay, there is a two possibilities. First, you have to get it from some predefined classes to handle those things, or else you have to create by your own. So here, what Java did, they gave some classes. Okay, that means how they identify this is the arithmetic exception, like divided by 0 exception. So this kind of exception they have, how they gave as a predefined manner. They just like once they launched, they got multiple issues. From that issue, they analyzed, they gave these kind of things. Okay, apart from that, nothing else. This is the class only. So whenever if you are going to any class, this arithmetic exception, this runtime exception, finally come to the exception class. So exception is the parent class of all the things. Maybe there is a possibility. You don't know. Let's back to here. This is my code, right? So here, I don't know what is the error exception going to happen. These things. Okay. So initially, what is the output we got? Maybe I don't think so. It was there. Yeah, it is now. Okay, then intentionally broke it. let me broke the code. Java C, then exception, and then that. Now I broke my code. So here, what is the things is called? Okay, I got some other issue. So if I am doing that, they are directly telling you are getting some exception, it's an arithmetic exception. So what they will also going to handle internally, if any error happen, they are trying to mark the exception, but they can able to tell until this kind of issues was happened, that's why your application got crashed. But what is our developer responsibility? Don't allow the system to broke. If it is a skip also, if that stage was skipped, there is no issue. But until unless, like if this stage is not at passed, you don't allow. If it is that kind of scenario, there is no issue. If a system crashed also, okay, fine. Because the next I can't do with that, because this process is completed, then only I have to process further. If that process itself is closed, we can't do nothing, right? Or else you have to retry. So that kind of scenarios also you can use exception handling. So here let's back to this particular thing. They are giving some arithmetic exception, okay, divided by 0. So here finally all the exception, they have predefined exception, all the exception coming from the parent class. What is the parent class of the exception? Exception. If any error happening, if you want to handling, but you don't have any idea, maybe it could be happening in some real world scenarios, that could be dynamic. So you don't worry about I have to specify arithmetic exception or some other interrupted exception. Don't worry about that. Use the exception parent class, because all the subclasses going to be and come under this exception parent class only. Okay. Now there is a two kind of question will occur in the interview. So first question will be how you are going to handle your exception globally. How we can do. That is the first issue, because like we don't know like when the error will be happen. Definitely while you are writing code you can't consider, maybe you have only two or three scenarios only, so you can based on those scenarios you can process further, right? Apart from that nothing we can do. But if that is happened, we have to handle, that's why we used the exception. But now the question was, on your entire application, all the files, all the snippets, you can't do like this kind of try and the exception, this kind of catch. How can we do the global exception? Okay, that is the first one. Next, now I want to my own custom exception. How can we do that? Okay, now you guys what going to do? Open your system. Okay, you guys try to create a one custom exception. Okay, so that means like you have to you just broke the code intentionally. As of now you are using this code only, but sometimes if any things happen like in DB connection error, okay, so if those kind of things happen, what you can do, you can throw that error to your exception. Okay, that also possible, you can throw like so that time you guys just to go through the two things now. One is the throw keyword, next one is you create your own custom exception. In custom exception it should handle your error, simple. Now if I am giving this arithmetic exception, right, whenever, okay fine, okay, this is the one exception, right? Let's back to the arithmetic exception. Fine. I can move this. This is the first issue I handle. If not values is 7, fine. Okay. Now this is not going to be broke, right? Now let me create one array here. Now let's see what's going to happen. So what I want finally, if any issues also happen, I want to tell thanks for using our application. Something I message I want to tell. Okay. Now I hope my issues are handled because I use try catch block. But let's see, is it exactly handled or not? So come to here. But still, I got the issue. Where is my this greeting message? Thanks for using my application. That means if you are used to your application, like if you are used to try catch block also in the dynamic scenario, if there is no guarantee because this is the different exception, like a array index out of bounds exception. This is not a arithmetic exception. This is different. Okay, these kind of scenarios we have the things like you can do more catch. So not only do the multiple catch blocks you can do. So in the next catch block you can specify array index out of bound. Okay, sometimes there is a plenty of exception already available, but I don't know which exception I want to use. I can directly use the exception. Simple. Okay. So and this is called as one final state also there. Okay, this not even closed. So like if you know that a error going to be happen this exception, you can do that. But this is exception is not a good practice because you can't take like what is the exception going to happen. Okay, particularly you can't handle. This is a global level. There is an advantage also. There is a disadvantage also. You can't handle which exception going to happen. Let's assume like I have a database. Database connection got crashed. Okay, what you have to going to do? You have to retry again after 5 seconds or 6 seconds. You try the retry mechanism you have to implement. So that time, if you handle this at global level, there is other issues happens. Okay, while inserting the data, something's happened. That means what we have to do? There is no need. There is no issue in the connection. That the issue in the insertion. So somewhat your query will be also wrong. So some other issues also happen. If you handled globally using this exception parent class, you can't do the further things like if you are catched the error, what are you going to do with that error? Nothing. Then what is the purpose of catching? But this is the global level catching. Like if any issues happen, just want to tell the user. That's it. Apart from that, I can't handle it because this is not the specified one, and you can't tell the user also this specified issue only happened. Okay, you can't do that. That is a major issue, and there is a one advantage also. You can handle the error globally, right? Simple. Now you guys just do your own custom exception. Your DB got crashed. First you go through the throw keyword, then you create your own custom exception class. Then that class should handle. Whenever my DB connection was gone, I have to call that exception. I have to process it. Don't ask the question. So how can I connect the DB? As of now, you go through the throw keyword. You will get the idea. Then do that. Simple. So there is no need a DB connection. Just to try to connect something. You intentionally throw some errors. Simple. Do fast. So you have 10 minutes. So until 11:30 you guys can do. So can anyone tell how can we create my own custom exception? Not throw keyword. How can I create my custom exception? Huh? How can I do it? What is this called? What it is called? If you are doing extends, what it is called? Just mug up everything. Everything you guys just memorize.
Actually,
Everything great. What it is called? Extends you are doing. What it is called? What is the concept? You have to inherit the exception. Simple.